ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the wait is finally over. It's time for me to do Better Late Than Never, my top albums of 2011. Hope you enjoy this and watch it all the way through. And we better get straight on with it, so let's go through them. My top 15 albums of 2011. Right. Coming in 15th place, we have a deathcore release from the Metal Blade label. I don't think they released many deathcore albums this year. Sorry, last year. Could be wrong. But I think this has got to appear in me top albums because I was really looking forward to this release. And more will be in the reviews, so it's just like a mini review, you know. Anywho, we've got at number 15, Rose Funeral, Gates of Punishment. Now this was a very anticipated album of 2011 for me because about halfway through I just went nuts with a lot of deathcore bands, and when I heard this got announced I was over the moon, so I just had to pick it up. And although I got a bit messed up with HMV, I finally got it for Christmas, and ever since then I've just been absolutely hooked on this album. And I'd really recommend you pick up this album for an absolutely killer blast. That's how I would describe this album. A pure blast in the deathcore genre. Pick up this album. Very good album of 2011. A very good deathcore album of 2011. So, 15th place goes to Rose Funeral with Gates of Punishment. Right, at number 14, we have a brutal death metal release, and it's the only brutal death metal release which is going to appear in my top albums. So, yeah, this has been one of the best brutal death metal releases ever, and it's definitely the best release of this band. So, without further ado, from Victory Records, we have Pathology, Awakening to the Suffering. The reason I put this in here is because this is pretty much the album that I've been looking forward to out the brutal death metal releases upcoming, if you know what I mean. And when I brought it home, I just absolutely loved and like listening to it constantly. And I was listening even to some brutal death metal stuff that I hadn't listened to ages, but this was one of the main ones that I was listening to, if you know what I mean. And it's just a fantastic brutal death metal release, very heavy, and also with Jonathan Huber now on vocals. He used to be in I Declare War, as I've mentioned before. For him to do brutal death metal just makes him an even better vocalist, and I think he suits brutal death metal. And I'm really looking forward to the future of Pathology if he's going to be in it full time, like forever. So, number 14, we have Pathology, Awaken to the Suffering. In 13th place now, we have a progressive death metal release from the Widowtip label, and this one was a very surprising release of 2011. That's why I've put it in my top albums. Very good progressive, very mellow in loads of parts, and very heavy in loads of parts, and a great vocalist. And I will be doing a review on this very soon. 13th place goes to Illogicist with The Unconscientiousness of Living. Very good album. I wasn't really planning on picking up any progressive death metal this year, but this one surprises. I love the logo. I love the artwork, and the music is phenomenal. Very technical and very relaxing in a lot of areas. So I think this deserves it for one of the more surprising releases of this year. And there hasn't been very many surprising ones, but for me, this one has to be one of the best progressive releases of this year. Very good album. Really recommend you buy it, and I will be doing a review on this album in the next couple of weeks or so. So keep an eye out. And so, 13th place goes to Illogicis with The Unconscientiousness of Living. Next up at number 12, we have one that I've reviewed, and I said this was going to be in the top album, so here it is. At number 12, we have Machine Head, Unto the Locust. And I realise the booklet was all messed up there. But anywho, now this was one of the ones, as I said, I didn't plan on picking up, but when I first heard the song Locust, it just blew us away. Very aggressive, very tuneful, and very melodic, if you ask me. And the rest of the album is just fantastic, with also very good artwork, and Locusts are pretty awesome, if you ask me. Very good thrash metal. Really recommend you pick this album up if you love the old Machine Head. Well, if you love Machine Head and you haven't got this album, pick it up. And if you like thrash metal, like really aggressive thrash metal, then this is your type of album. I really recommend you pick up this album. And at number 12 goes to, well, it was released on the Roadrunner, so Roadrunner's thrash metal release of Machine Head, Unto the Locust. Next up at number 11, we have a blackened thrash metal release, and as I said, I really loved this album when it came out. But upon listening to it even more when I got it, it's just turned into one of the best, probably the best thrash influence release of this year. And ladies and gentlemen, I give you Skeleton Witch, Forever Abomination. Now, I wasn't expecting this to blow my mind as it did, but it really did. It's a phenomenal release. The lows in the vocals are very good, and the black metal sort of highs are just unbelievable. Very good structure in the songs. Very good acoustic elements in there as well, and that was pretty awesome. Stunning artwork, and instead of a normal fold out, you just get some awesome. And Digisleeve as well. I'm not fond of Digisleeves, but very awesome album. Really recommend you pick up if you like black metal, or either if you like thrash metal. I'd really recommend you pick up this album. So 11th place goes to Skeleton Witch with Forever Abomination. And now we move on to the top 10 albums of 2011. At number 10, we have one of the best full-on death metal releases of this year. Very awesome album. This is the album that got us into the band, and I plan to get more of them. I haven't reviewed it yet, but more than likely in the next week or so, I will be reviewing this album, so keep your eye out. Very good release from Relapse. And number 10 goes to Abysmal Dawn, Leveling the Plane of Existence. Very awesome album, very awesome death metal, and if you just like to have your face ripped off every once in a while and blown away by just full on brutal death metal, then this is your album. Fantastic release, and if you want to check out the song in the meantime, check out Pixelated Ignorance. Very awesome song, very in your face, and I'd really recommend you pick up this album. I did, and I'm blown away by it. So, at number 10, congratulations to Relapse and Abysmal Dawn for picking up 10th place with their third full-length album called Leveling the Plane of Existence. At number 9, we have another full-on death metal release this time from the Metal Blade label. This was one of the ones that I thought I might as well pick up because I do like them a little bit. And then they turned into one of my favourite death metal bands, and I still love them, and I've just recently bought an album of them. And I bought this one ages ago, but yeah, I got it and I've never stopped listening to it. So here it is, Hate Eternal, Phoenix Amongst the Ashes. just a, as I said for Abysmal Dawn, just a full-on ripping your face sort of album, and just full-on death metal at its absolute finest, and it proves just without a shadow of a doubt why Hate Eternals just do that to you. They just rip your face and ear rape you, stuff like that. It's just absolutely amazing, and if you fully love full-on death metal and you haven't picked up this album, then just go and buy it without even listening to it. It's full on death metal at its absolute finest. And with the song The Eternal Ruler, which inspired my band's name, well, that's how we got our band's name, that song is amazing as well. So, just one of the best death metal songs of this year, but really recommend you pick up this album if you love full on death metal. So, at ninth place goes to Hate Eternal with Phoenix Amongst the Ashes. At number 8, we have, some people are going to hate me for this, but it's my top albums, and it's all my opinion anyways. Anywho, at number 8, we have, as I said, the haters are going to hate, we have Suicide Silence, The Black Crown. Everyone hated this album. I actually really enjoyed it. The vocals are different, and it's a major step for them. Well, people say it's a lower step, but it's gotten a bit mainstream, but it's a good mainstream, and You Only Live Once I still can't stop listening to. It's one of my favourite, turned into one of my favourite songs of them. And the features a few guest spots, including Jonathan Davis from Korn, and also the singer of Suffocation appears in it. And with those two in it, and especially on Witness the Addiction with Korn's vocalist, it's just a very good song, and it's kind of an inspirational song with them to come together to make that song, and it's absolutely fantastic. People just think I'm talking bullshit because they think it's sort of crap, but it's my top albums, and my opinion may be different to yours, so yeah. So yeah, 8th place goes to Suicide Silence with their release under Century Media record label with The Black Crown. At number 7, we have another very surprising release. I've seen this one on a few blog spots and stuff, saying it was their top artist, and I checked it out, and I really enjoyed listening to it. Very, very different and very original. Dance music crossed with deathcore, metalcore stuff. Very low, good vocals, very good tone, and just a very good blend of metalcore and trance dance sort of stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, at 7th place we have The Browning with Burn This World. Fantastic album. Definitely one of the best surprises of 2011. Very good album, very enjoyable. Even for those who like a bit of dance, I know that they quite like this album. And I know people who aren't into metal stuff but like dance stuff quite like this album too. So that is just all round for me, and it's just really good. I'm not a big fan of dance myself, but this is just a fantastic release, very enjoyable, and I really recommend you pick it up. So 7th place goes to The Browning with Burn This World under Earache Records. At number 6, we have one of the most full-on albums of this year, sheer utter speed and excellence, symphonics behind it, symphony and melodicness behind it, and seeing them live just made us change my mind about the band and made them turn out to be one of my favourite death metal bands of all times now. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, Under Nuclear Blast labels, we have Fleshgod Apocalypse with the album Agony. Very awesome album. Songs like The Violation, just pure speed, combined with the symphonics and the keyboards. It's just unbelievable. Very awesome sound, and it really does. And I said this about Abysmal Dawn and Hate Eternal. It really does ear rape you. It's absolutely fantastic, and the lyrics are very awesome. And with a new vocalist and the old vocalist taking the part of drums is just awe-inspiring and just amazing. So I'd really recommend you pick up this album if you love symphonic stuff, like say Dimmu Borgir, but you like the vocals and the like sheer speed of Abysmal Dawn, for example, then this is your type of album. So pick it up. At number 6, we have Fleshgod Apocalypse with Agony. And now we're into the top 5. At number 5, we have probably the best, the best progressive death metal release of 2011. I was blown away by this album. The technicality, the progressiveness, the melodicness, everything all combined into one album. Even acoustic stuff in it is just all adds up. Vocals incredible. So without further ado, here is my 5th top album of this year and the best progressive release of this year. Here it is, Obscura with Omnivium. Fantastic album. Songs like Septuagint, something like that. Just blew me mind. Fantastic song. Just absolutely. It just has everything. Progressive acoustic guitars, just and very good vocals. Not too low and in your face like Hate Eternal. Just medium and very enjoyable listen. I would really recommend you pick up this album. But for any lovers of any type of metal, this is your type of album. For relax it, if you like music to relax to and you're a metalhead, this is your type of album. So here is my 5th top album of this year. We have Obscura with Omnivium. And number 4, we have one, probably the surprise of this year. This one, as I said, got introduced to my mate, and it's turned into one of my favourite albums to listen to. Didn't expect it to appear in my top 5, but it did, and I really enjoyed it the most. Well, out of the ones that have just gone to this one I've enjoyed the most. And here it is. We have Bloodstained Child with Epsilon. Very good. I'm not a lover of Japanese metal music, but this one definitely made us change my mind. Very awesome release. New singer has a fantastic voice. The screams are really awesome, and the instrumentations and the sound all together just makes something you can actually really listen to and enjoy. I did, and I'm a full-on death metal head listener, like from Abysmal Dawn all the way up to, from something like Korn or Evanescence, all the way up to stuff like Devourment and stuff like that. This is something that I can enjoy without going into the proper guttural stuff, you know. It's just fantastic, and I really recommend you pick up this album. And I'd just like to say a special thanks to Cal Johnson or Skillless Messiah on YouTube. Thanks, mate, for introducing us to this album. Very awesome album. Thanks, mate. And it's me 4th top album of 2011. Bloodstained Child with Epsilon. Now it's time for the top 3 albums of this this year. Sorry, last year. Got to get that right. Now, at number 3, we have the best deathcore release of last year, and probably one of the best deathcore albums as a whole. Just a fantastic album. Really recommend you pick up this for any fan of deathcore. Any from Suicide Silence all the way up to Molotov Solution. Any of them. Ladies and gentlemen, my top deathcore album and my 3rd top album overall of last year. Get it right. Anywho, is Fit for an Autopsy with The Process of Human Extermination. Just wow. There's no words that can even describe how awesome this album is in the deathcore world. It's so heavy, like really so heavy. I thought I Declare War's old album, Malevolence, I think it's called. I thought that was just the pinnacle of heaviness, but this is just raised to another bar. This is just fantastic, and songs like The Conqueror and The False Prophet, The Conqueror especially, just unbelievably heavy. Just wow. I really recommend you pick up this, really do. So yeah, it's my 3rd top album. Really recommend you pick it up. Fit for an Autopsy with their actually debut album with The Process of Human Extermination. And number 2, 2nd place, we have the best melodic death metal release of this year. Loads of people were saying that this was probably going to be my top album of this year. Sadly, it isn't, but it came 2nd, and I think it deserves 2nd compared to the first one, but yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the best melodic death metal release of 2011, and the 2nd best album overall, goes to The Black Dahlia Murder with Ritual. Fantastic album, just amazing. Shrine of Madness, all the way to Blood in the Ink, is just killer melodic death metal. They've even included some acoustic guitar in. Which one was it? Just give us a minute. Oh yeah, Carbonized in Cruciform, and that has turned into my favourite song on this album. And if you want, I would listen to that song of all, because that is just a great song. And also check out Moonlight Equilibrium, which was the debut song for this album. I was mind blown by this album, and you will probably be too. And I'd just like to say a little thank you going out to me older brother, Mark, if he watches this, which he probably won't, but I never know. I just say a little special thanks to him for getting us into the Black Dahlia Murder. Since he first played it, miasma in the car a couple of years ago. I've just been hooked on them since, and he thinks this is a really good album, and I think you will too. So thanks, bro. And number 2 goes to The Black Dahlia Murder with their 2011 release on Metal Blade Records, Ritual. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to reveal what my number 1 album is of 2011. People were thinking, as I said, it was going to be Black Dahlia Murder, but they're wrong. Now, this is a very underground release, if you ask me. Not many people know them. But if you get the chance, really do pick it up. Fantastic release. One of the best release of 2011. And just a very, very awesome album. Very killer release under Sage of Amedo record label. Here it is. My top album of 2011 goes to Ingested with The Surreption. Ingested. Congratulations, guys. You have created something just awe-inspiring for me. The combination of your old brutal death metal stuff with your modern style, what you've got on this album, what you just wanted to go for, combining them all together into one album, the last album, and you wanted to add new stuff to it, like, just unbelievable. It's just an amazing album, just awe-inspiring, very awesome, and just there's words that cannot describe how much I love this album. I was waiting for it for so long. When I heard it, I was shaking. I was literally shaking like mad because I was really excited. And then when I brought it home, I wasn't disappointed, not even in the slightest. None of the songs, from Crowning the Abomination to Omega, just full on brutal death metal crossed with deathcore, and with the instrumental song at the end, Omega just makes it an all fantastic album. For any fans of any brutal death metal to deathcore, any one of those, just pick up this album. I don't even need to say anymore. Congratulations to all the others. You made some fantastic albums, and a big congratulations to Ingested for creating this album. Fantastic album. Congratulations, guys. Very good album. And since you have made me top album, I'm going to make this out to you. It's Rockstar Endurance. Oh, splash it all over myself, I don't know. Cheers to yous. I'm going to go and listen to it now, and congratulations. Look forward to hearing you in next release, whenever that comes out, this year or maybe the year after, I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. And cheers. See you next video. Oh, and finally, stay metal!